Hello and welcome to the masterclass. Please sit down. I'm very excited to hold this masterclass, and I really appreciate all of you being here because it's a very important topic two topics that I'm very passionate about. It's about sustainability and it's about broadcasting. And we as the Sportcast, most of you probably know the Sportcast, we are the host broadcaster for the Bundesliga, so everything that happens from glass to glass, television signal for the Bundesliga and second Bundesliga is produced by us, and we do a lot of productions, 617 matches per season, so that's basically what we do, and we need to talk about sustainability. And we did a lot of stuff in the past months, and I want to show you some key figures and a little impulse so you understand what we are doing and what we're aiming for. And also, which challenges do we face and what can we do about it. Everything we do at Sportcast is, since 2006, based on these three pillars. We got quality, we got innovation. We are here at the SportsInnovation, so perfect fit. And we also got sustainability, so the base of our production, everything accounts to one of these three pillars. We did start green production in January 23, and the first thing we did was to talk about sustainability in general with Sky, because we do this project together with Sky Germany, and we just held a lot of discussions. We wanted to know as much as possible about the scene, about the production, and we needed to measure a lot of things. That's why we did a lot of research. There are some standards and policies in Germany as well as in other countries that try to give an overview of best practices for sustainable production. We looked at a lot of them. We held many discussions with other producers, broadcasters, as well as leagues, and then focused on the main point. We needed to get an overview of the dimensions of our production in sustainability. So we tried to get as much data as efficiently as possible in order to understand where we can pull some levers to improve our production. And we used the data to calculate our first carbon footprint. Actually, we did 2 carbon footprints based on a very good methodology for data collection. And now we have a very good understanding what we are doing. We then tried to identify potentials where we can reduce, because we don't want to compensate, we don't want to do anything that's just like, okay, we did something, we are free of charge. We try to identify these potentials and to really get into the doing. That's where we currently stand. And last but not least, we held a lot of dialogue with other broadcasters as well as people from other countries like Emili, who will join me in a second to discuss the challenges and opportunities, to understand which challenges do they face, are there differences in the market, for example in Spain, than for us in Germany, and to form kind of a common goal that we all need to play for. Very interesting, of course, is the results that we have. I will just show some key figures because the most important thing is the base data that we used. We did 4 match days in the past 2 seasons each. So we have 72 matches. We included 8 suppliers, so we worked a lot with the people that are on production, on site, as well as behind the camera and everything that comes afterwards. And we got around 1,100 responses in our survey where we tried to get the data as a primary source. And this is probably the most interesting result. We divided it into 3 areas. We had the stadium infrastructure, so everything, the power supply, the generators on site at the stadium contributes to the stadium infrastructure. We got the staff, which is all the freelancers, the broadcast personnel that we needed, and the logistics, which is the technical vans, the OB van, the SNG, everything that we needed in the technical dimension for the production. And you see, it's around a third for each of these areas, which is very interesting and where we learned a lot about, because we tried to get this division for the past years as well, and it changed a lot. But the learning is exactly the first. You need primary data. That's the key learning we had. You need the best data possible and the most accurate data. And so you need primary sources that will give you the data, like how many kilometers did the OB van drive? How much power does it consume? And you need those from the suppliers, from the freelancers that are working for you. You also need reliable feedback, because we have a lot of freelancers each and every match day, and you need to speak to a lot of them. You need to motivate them to give you those data points, so you can really calculate based on this and not just do assumptions, because assumptions are probably the worst you can do, because it's probably nowhere near the right result. And last but not least, you need a regular review of your results, which is very important, because you will learn a lot each and every year you do this, and you will see that you improve your calculation as well as reduction potentials, as well as in the doing, you will see a lot of improvements. So now I'm standing here and I need to talk about the challenges and the potential. Of course, we have the power supply on site. So in most stadiums, there's a generator powering the whole production, which isn't very good because it's direct emissions. It's not good. We need to switch sooner or later to green power sources. But it's very difficult to do that because the infrastructure is very hard to change. It's not that easy, but we are in talks. We also need to talk about freelancer mobility. We are moving, I guess, around 400 people each match day, just the freelancers all around the country to work on our matches. So this is a very, very important topic. Of course, OB van routing is a topic as well. It's clear, we got a lot of technical vehicles that we need, but we need to talk about it. How can this be planned more efficiently, for example? It's pretty hard because there aren't that many OB vans that we can just place one near the stadium and it just stays there until the next match. So we need good solutions for that as well. Another possibility is the electrification of vehicles, especially for the heavy vehicles. But of course, this is very hard to do because there isn't, the demand is higher than what the suppliers can offer in most cases, as well as it's expensive to switch to electrified cars. So now, I'm very happy to welcome two people to the panel to discuss challenges and possibilities. First, Emili, Planas, CTO at MEDIAPRO. Give him a warm welcome, please.
Thank you.
Just take a seat. Here. Yeah. And Alexander Günther, Managing Director at Sportcast. And we will just discuss some challenges. And the first question, because we heard a lot about Sportcast, Alex, I will just give Emili the first question. Where do you stand at your journey to green production?
I'm the CTO. I'm not expert on green production in the company. We have a department in charge of this. But probably I would prefer to explain with a small presentation. But what we discovered, thanks to this new department created inside the MEDIAPRO group about sustainability, is not complex in our industry to be more sustainable when we try to innovate in production. Major part of the times, this innovation means sustainability. The best example is we decided to go to remote production because it's better for the business, and this remote production saves a lot in CO2 impact, and obviously the major part of the industry probably will not do this because of the sustainability. We will do it because it's better for the production. It's more efficient in all the terms.
Maybe if you can have a look at the other presentation, and you could just take us through.
It's only to make a little. The first two slides are what is MEDIAPRO. We are a worldwide company working in live productions and cinema production and other, all kind of productions for the industry. And we started in 2009 centralizing the production of all La Liga matches. We added the voiceovers, the graphic layouts, and the highlights, and the international distribution of La Liga was concentrated in our MEDIAPRO hub in Barcelona, where this hub is connected with all the stadiums of the first and second division, and major part of the right holders of La Liga. We have connectivity with fiber with them. And thanks to this, later we analyzed it and we saved more than 14 million kilometers in people's journeys. It's an amount of, it's a big amount of number. In 2014, we started with a remote production with an average of 8 matches per match day in second division. After COVID, we started operating remotely the first division matches also, with an average of 9 of the 10, which is 90% of the matches. And we estimated that we saved 7 tons of CO2 and 8 million kilometers of people journeys, only thanks to this. But honestly, we don't do this because of the sustainability at that period. We have no department in charge of this. We operated this because of it's better for the business. In 2022, we created the sustainability area, which works in 3 areas in MEDIAPRO: environmental, social, and corporate governance. This department is who manage what are the best practices and what we need to implement to be better and to work better for this work. We joined the United Nations Global Compact in this way in 2023, and we created this women's production, complete women's production. And this is one of our chief engineers in charge of, for example, the America's Cup. She's producing with one of the biggest hobby bands we have. We work on these lines. And what's next, we will see.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. So, Alex, Emili told us that there are several motivations to produce greener. Why is it important for Sportcast to feature green production?
Well, we talked about that earlier. So it's a pleasure to be here because to present the first results of our project. And project means it started 2 years ago. No, in fact, it started to be sustainable and to be innovative and to be on a high quality. It started 2006. You mentioned our 3 columns, the quality and innovation. And if that fits, well, it's not a question of, it's no real question to go into a sustainable approach as well. So from the very beginning, we had that approach to be sustainable as Sportcast. What's really good is to see that we've established quality, the innovation topic, and today, why your question, why is it important for Sportcast and the DFL to go in the next level of green production, and why is it possible? Because, you mentioned we are producing more than 700 matches a year. We have a pool of more than 1,000 freelancers. So we have, innovation topics. We've installed just a real state-of-the-art process for remote production, you can say, in the innovation lab. And so it's really good to have a deep dive into the real production reduction. That sounds funny, but that's it. It's about reducing at the right point, and we can screw at every point, single point of the entire production chain. And you mentioned the logistics, the powering, and the travel with the freelancers. So yeah, that's why we are prepared for that.
Yeah, that's nice. Emili, which market-specific challenges do you face, maybe compared to the German market, in Spain, for example?
Well, the production model for La Liga, that's the best example, is a little bit different than, well, as all the competitions are produced differently, no? But we use a lot of local people as cameramen and riggers from the city where the match is produced. This saves transportation. But we do this from the beginnings, no? Because it's better for us. The challenge is when we go as a worldwide company, we go to other places, is trying to use the best model in each country. If we go to Chile, for example, it's a very long country, and you need to do a lot of kilometers for transportation to the north, up to the north to the south. Same in Canada. Sometimes it's not possible to deploy the same solutions. And what we do from the beginnings is try to be more efficient when we produce. Thinking on the sustainability, there is basically what we name the good practices or the best practices on sustainability. And sometimes are simple things that if you offer to the people in charge of the production, they accept as something good for the world, but also good for the production. For example, if you have catering on some productions, this is something common in event productions, but it probably is much better to have a good relationship with a restaurant on the same town and offer tickets or the solution to go to the restaurant, because this helps to the local market, and you don't need to come with an external company to provide these services. Same for the water bottles. If the people comes to work with their bottle, they don't need to use plastic glasses. This is simple, and if you put this on the mind of the people that are working wherever, it's not only in Spain, the people react very positive on this kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
You mentioned the mind of the people. Well, and you asked about the challenges. I guess we have actually at least three main challenges. The first one is how to integrate and how to influence all the people with the positive atmosphere of being sustainable in whatever they do. Whenever they think how to reach the stadium, they need to think about any kind of green transportation or whatever. So that mindset, changing mindset. This is a process. It takes time, and this is why we started the journey. And the second topic actually is, you mentioned also the networking, exchanging in our industry, thinking about different best practices. This is why we can see different sustainable activities here at Sports Innovation, because we are creating future and we are doing a lot for the future. So in exchanging with our networks, with our industry. And the third thing is actually what we as Sportcast, as a daughter company of the DFL, really feel it needs a commitment. It needs a full commitment of all who are involved in this process to say, well, we want to do and bring in whatever we can for a sustainable, from our side, production in the long term. long term means it's really a journey, and we started it. I'm really well, a little bit proud to have those figures right now to discuss.
Yeah, of course, and we talked a lot about how we could get better data as well as more data. So standardization is very important to us.
Yeah. Well, it's your experience from the production side, because he's the one who's a project manager. I'm just listening to your words actually.
But Emili, you told me about an approach that you are thinking about for kind of a standardization, so you could compare different productions with a point system. Could you explain it a little?
Yeah, we are developing a software or integrating a software with our planning tools and all the information we have in different databases about the resources we are using, the planning, the travels of the people. All this, we are developing the software that is able to analyze all this information and offers to us the impact that every production has. It's a huge job because it's very difficult to manage with the correct information or the relevant information. But we need to have this information to evaluate the process internally. What, in my opinion, is not relevant is to compare the impact in each production in all the countries, because each model can be different, and we will compare apples with pears. It's something that is not positive. What is our challenge for the next years is to have more or less or the same equivalent model to evaluate the good practices in all the production. That is can be very similar in all the places. If, for example, we don't turn on the power generator on the productions because we equipped all the OB bands we have with the UPSs. And if something happens with the power of the stadium, we have time to turn on the power generator. And if it's not needed, this power generator is stopped. We decided to use eco fuel for the OB bands, but we will fulfill the truck in our warehouse, but probably in the middle of the travel, they will need to refuel the truck in a gas station that has no option to do this. Well, we need to analyze how to evaluate and how to put numbers on these good practices to have the positiveness of the production model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Moritz, you mentioned earlier that we had 72 matches discovered, actually, collected data, even from the freelancers. And one of the ideas was to establish a kind of system where the freelancer can give us the information about his traveling, how he reached in the stadium, and so on. So it would be great to have more than 700 matches with almost 50,000 bookings a year, because this amount of data would help us to really integrate and discuss with all of them how to optimize the traveling, for example. And the second aspect was the motivation. Why should I do it? Yeah. So the motivation factor. So we are really on a good journey right now on production side, on operational level. So I'm really looking forward to see what's next.
Yeah. So maybe last question. I start with Emili. What's the next practical step you're going to try to take, at least, on your journey to green production?
We would like to have a common way not to analyze, but to work on the industry, to be able to share experiences and to share these good practices, I name it, with all the industry. Probably we need to start step by step between us and try to engage other production companies to this method that is positive for the people that is involved on the productions, and is positive for the environment too. And I think we need to work together on this challenge and try to offer something easy to manage, because sometimes small productions has no capability to analyze better this amount of information, but to do something simple, easy to do, and efficient in terms of the engagement of the sustainability in production.
Okay. You want to add something?
No, I'm just thinking about quality. When we started 2006, it was about the best quality production on high efficiency. 2015, we had there was the first innovation match, and then we had the idea to come up with a sports innovation. Yeah, that was pretty good, and my vision could be for the third column. It's a kind of sports sustainability event like this in the future to exchange best practices for sustainable ideas. So that's and this kind of masterclass is just the starting of a big thing. Yeah, it sounds like a vision.
It should be a vision, and I think we're facing the same challenges all in all, but it's very important that, at least what I can say, to connect to other people. So probably the very last question, how do you think the exchange can be fueled with more power, so we can connect better and exchange those ideas?
Yeah, well, actually, like you already did from the end, and you mentioned the innovative process. If innovation goes further, yeah, well, we can integrate our sustainable best practices as well. Well, the best practice is actually, I mentioned that earlier, the remote concept, and so we are in close connection, exchange, and that would be the answer. Yeah, to go on with those. Meetings like that.
Yeah, one of the things that we need to try to do is to don't use the sustainability as a commercial argument, no? Only. Sometimes we detect that some people are trying to explain that it's more sustainable because he does something, and this is a commercial argument. This is good, but the key is not to have this sticker on your truck or to have this sticker on a PowerPoint, is to involve the people in charge of all the productions, to have a common way to think on the sustainability. And in my opinion, when the people change the mentality, they cannot come back. When someone has the water bottle to fill the water in the production, they will never use the plastic glass on the production. This kind of mentality is the challenge that we need to affront for the next years with the people, not only the on-site people, it's the planning people, the production, the TV directors, that obviously today they accept the remote production because they cannot say no to this innovation, but 10 years ago, they argue that they need to smell the grass to produce better. No? Well, finally, I think we are very aligned on these innovations, and I'm happy to see that a lot of people in this forum is interested in the sustainability. That's very positive.
Yeah, it's really positive from our perspective. The DFL Sportcast, we have the full commitment to sustainability, and we empower the next project topics on that. So I really appreciate that we at the masterclass today. Thank you for you.
No, thank you.
Thanks for being on stage with me. Thanks to all of you for coming to this masterclass. Two last things, because I'm running out of time. First, stay in the loop. Push sustainability as often as you can. There are different motivations to it. Try to push it further. And second, if you want to connect with each one of us, just talk to us because we want to push the topic ourselves as well. Yeah. Thanks for being here.